Hi friends. As per behavioral finance researchers who study our emotional connect with money, as per their research, it's proved that we feel twice as bad when while making losses as compared to the happiness that we feel when we are making profits. So, to say it in other words, the anxiety and stress that we feel when our portfolio values is going down is much more empowering as compared to the happy feelings or the good feelings that we get when our portfolio values are going up. That's the main reason why there's a very negative connotation that's attached to the term volatility. So friends, in today's video, let's see what is volatility, what is a volatility index, and is it really an enemy or a friend in disguise? Welcome to Yadnya Investment Academy, friends. So let's begin with looking at the definition of volatility. Let's see what is the theoretical definition. So theoretically, it means rate of magnitude of price change in a given time period. So friends, we've seen that in stock market, prices of stocks, mutual funds, portfolios, it keeps on going up and keeps on going down. So if there is a stock wherein you see a lot of price movements, the price is going up drastically and then it is coming down at a very steep rate. That's what you call a highly volatile stock. Versus compare it with a stock wherein the prices are fairly stable, there's not much movement in the stock prices. That's what you call a low volatility stock. Okay. Now, what are the different measures in which a volatility of a stock or mutual fund is calculated? So, there are two ways that are popular in the industry. First one is beta and second one is standard deviation. Let's first see what is beta. So, a beta basically tells you for a stock or for a portfolio how closely or in how much tandem it's moving with the market. So for example, if there is a stock that has a beta of 1.2, it means if the market goes up by 100%, then this stock price is going to go up by 120%. So that's how you figure out, that's how you make, sense of a beta number. Second one is standard deviation. Now, standard deviation is a statistical measure that's used to figure out the deviation of a data point as compared to its mean. Okay, so let's take a look at the example of Axis Bank. So for Axis Bank in last 1 month, the prices have touched a high of 478 and it has touched the low of 380. If we look at the mean of the movement of these prices in last 1 month for Axis Bank, the mean comes somewhere around 406 or 407. As you can see, there's a good difference that these levels of 478, 380, 412 have as compared to the mean, which is 406. Okay, so you can say it's in terms of volatility, in terms of standard deviation, it's a high standard deviation stock. So friends, we also have detailed videos on beta and standard deviation. The link of these videos is mentioned in the description. So feel free to watch these videos in order to know more about the formulas that are used for calculating these measures. Beta and standard deviation, these were the measures for finding the volatility of a stock or a portfolio or a mutual fund. What if I want to know the volatility of the market? So that's where this VIX comes into picture, not that one. VIX is volatility index. So let's take a look at the theoretical definition of VIX first. So it's an index that measures the degree of volatility or fluctuation that traders expect in the Nifty 50 over the next 30 days. So basically it tells us what is the volatility expectation from the market in the next 30 days. Okay, so one of the major inputs that goes into constructing this index is the Nifty 50 options, the buy and sell price of these Nifty 50 options. So this is an index that was launched by NSE sometime back in 2008 and now it has become a sort of a standard and widely expected index for finding the fear factor in the market. As I mentioned, there's a very negative connotation attached to volatility and that's why this index is also called a fear index. Okay, now let's just see how this index is calculated. Now there is a very popular model in the finance fraternity for calculating the fair prices of options. It's called Black-Scholes option pricing model. There are 5 inputs to that pricing model, and the output is the fair price of options. So let's take a look at these 5 parameters that go as an input into the Black-Scholes model. The first one is called the strike price. So what is a strike price? It means the price that is agreed between two parties who are option buyers or sellers, and they are going to buy or sell a particular stock or an index at this agreed upon strike price level. Fine. So, and the second input is the market price of the underlying index or the underlying stock on which this option is getting constructed. Third one is the time to expiration. How much time is left before this option expires? Fourth is the volatility, and fifth one is the risk-free rate. So these 5 go as an input into the Black-Scholes models, and the output is the fair price of the options. Now for constructing this index, NSE already knows the prices of the options that are going on for the coming options. They're aware about the strike price. They know what is the market price of the underlying index, which is Nifty 50. They also know how much time to expiration is left. They also know the risk-free return, the risk-free rate. Now, volatility is left. So there is a bit of back calculation that happens wherein the volatility is calculated using all of these as an input. Okay, so that's I'll say crude way of saying that's how the index is constructed. Friends, feel free to let us know if you want us to, if you want a detailed video on this index construction methodology, and we'll be happy to construct one based on your comments. Okay, now we know, okay, there is something called a VIX index and it has certain values. How do we make sense of these numbers? How do we make sense if the VIX index is at 80 or if it's at 20 or if it's at 40? How do we say whether it's low or whether it's high? Okay, so there are 2 ways that can help you looking at this number. First of all, let's look at it in an absolute manner. Let's say that the VIX index level is 10%. So what it means is over the next 30 days, traders, depending on the bid and ask prices of options, they're expecting that the market may go up or down by 10%. So this 10% is an annualized figure. So in a time span of 1 year, 10% movement, I'll say, is low volatility. Okay, so that was the absolute way of looking at this VIX index number. Second is you compare it with the 52 weeks high and low numbers. So the VIX index level as of yesterday was 38.01. As you can see, the 52 weeks high for this index was 86.63. That was on 24th of March, and then it was at a level of 9.16. That was sometime in January. So looking at both the two numbers, you can see 38 is still a very high number. So the market is still very fearful. I shouldn't say very fearful. So the market is still fearful, but not as much as it was in March. So friends, let's take a look at this VIX index and see how it behaved under different situations since its inception. Okay. So let's look at it on the screen here. So let's take a look at the historical numbers of this VIX index since 2009. So May 2009, the VIX index is at 52% level. We'll say it's pretty high. It was a combination of the uncertainty that 2009 election posed and combine it with the bad news that was still percolating, that was still trickling down in 2009 because of the subprime crisis that we saw in 2008. After that, in May 2014, again, time of general elections, you can see the volatility peaking up and it reached a level of 34.19. Then last year, May 2019, the IL&FS crisis. Everyone was impacted. There was lack of confidence in the non-banking financial segment. And that's where you also see the volatility peaking up picking up, and it's at a level of 28.66. And now Corona in March 2020. We have not seen such levels before because we have not faced such a situation before. Friend, what it means for retail investors? Does it make sense for us to get bothered about the volatility in the market? Let's see how long-term investors can make use of this VIX index. First of all, it's been observed that there is a negative correlation between Nifty 50 and this VIX index. What do I mean by this negative correlation? If VIX is going up, Nifty 50 is going down, which means if the fear in the market is increasing, there's a decrease that we see in Nifty 50 levels. Versus if this VIX index is going down, which means the fear in the market is also going down, we've seen increase in the Nifty 50 price levels. Okay, so there is an inverse correlation between Nifty 50 and VIX index. So if you have any investments in the index fund or in an ETF, which is in which the underlying is Nifty 50, you can use this VIX index as a guidance for making entry or for selling off these investments. Okay, so that's the first use case. Second one is you can use this VIX index in helping you in making portfolio rebalancing decisions. How that's so? So suppose you see this VIX index level peaking up and then it's been at a high for a long time, which means the market has gone down. That's when you can start investing in stocks that are high beta stocks. So what is the advantage of investing in these high beta stocks? Because the markets are down and VIX is high, when VIX goes down and market picks up, these high beta stocks are also going to pick up along with the market, and vice versa. So if you see VIX is bottoming out and the market's at very high level, that's where you can look at shortlisting stocks that are low beta stocks, such that when the market starts going down, you pick up the stocks which will not be much impacted by the decrease in the market. Okay. Now, what's the third use case? Third one is if you see that there is a high fear level in the market, the VIX index is going up, volatility is very high, that's where you can start reallocating some of your stock investments into sectors that are more conservative in nature, which means they're not going to get impacted much with the volatility. So you can use this as a guidance for doing a sectoral reallocation as well. We also take a look at the VIX levels while doing rebalancing of our model portfolios. And we also take a look at the risk measures like beta and standard deviation while analyzing these stocks and shortlisting these stocks for our model portfolio offering as well. Okay. Now, this was from the perspective of long-term investors like us. This VIX index is something that day traders and speculators also monitor very closely. The reason for that is, as you know now, that volatility is an input to the Black-Scholes models, which gives you the option prices. If volatility is increasing, the option prices are also going to get impacted. They're also going to increase or decrease in tandem with the volatility. So day traders and speculators make use of this VIX index and then accordingly take positions in the options depending on which way the volatility is moving. Okay. One thing I forgot to tell you is that on this VIX index, there are futures also that are available. So some of these speculators, if they believe that the volatility is going to go up, that's where they start taking positions. They start buying VIX futures. And if they see that the volatility is going to go down, that's their view on the volatility, that's when they start selling these VIX futures. So that's how the speculators and traders make use of this VIX index. But from a retail investor's perspective, friends will say take a long-term view and then try and use this VIX index in order to help you for your sector allocation, in order to help you for making decisions for entering and exiting index funds, and also in helping you figuring out and shortlisting stocks which are high beta stocks or low beta stocks in tandem with the VIX index. So friends, we are of the view that We should see volatility as a friend that can help us make decisions in rebalancing, that can help us make decisions in sectoral reallocation, and that can help us in figuring out the entry and exit point for stocks as well as for index funds. So thanks for watching this video. Jai Hind.